We have expanded our team with 4 new people, and now we actually have the capacity to grow again. So, if we add 4 or 5 new clients this year to our agency, it means that we will just, double in revenue. Sorry, not double, add 50% extra revenue, which is, like very significant, of course. Thanks for having me. Super nice to be here. My name is Leo. I'm the founder of Amsterdam Standard and YouSir. Amsterdam Standard is a development company, founded it 22 years ago already. And what we do there is we support fast-growing Dutch tech companies, mostly startups and scale-ups, all building SaaS products. We support those companies with development teams. Most of our teams are based in Poland, and they are very technical people. We experienced a few years ago already that there is a much bigger demand for UX expertise actually among those clients. And we also have seen that many of them do not have in-house experienced UX or UI designers. Sometimes it's because there's not enough work for them. Sometimes it's because there is not a great design culture, and it's a very technical company where the user doesn't come actually at the first place. I think 5 or 6 years ago, I already decided with my colleague Soraya that we should come up with a separate label to service these clients. A label that would really focus on SaaS applications and then actually only on B2B, because that's where we actually have built our experience. So we created YouSir as a spin-off company of Amsterdam Standard. Initially, we first started to work for our Amsterdam Standard clients and also for the brand Global Orange. Global Orange is a company that I merged my company Amsterdam Standard with 3 years ago. So we had, I would say, a running start. The designers of YouSir started working for the clients of those 2 brands. And that's basically how we started. Well, honestly, it was actually for the first time in all those more than 20 years that I'm an entrepreneur right now that I had to think about marketing and sales. Amsterdam Standard was always a running business. Clients just came to us through referrals. So we always really did our utmost to make our clients happy. And if you do that in such a small ecosystem as the Dutch tech space actually is, you always know that, by making one client happy, you will just get referrals. And that was enough for a running label, right? Because it really took like a long time before that label was successful and big as it is right now. But if you start working on a new brand, then you actually have to do something, especially if you want to position this as like the best B2B SaaS studio. And honestly, I had like 0 experience with active business development. So I was always sitting back, waiting for a good client to be referred to me. And then, of course, I would do my whole show, go there, make them happy, share all my knowledge and expertise with them. And for sure, this could lead to like deals. But that's like a way different approach to actively reaching out to the market and, trying to introduce yourself. So I actually had like no clue how to do that. I think I experimented a little bit with, for example, Google AdWords to see if that could lead to, some inquiries on our website. But honestly, there was like pretty much nothing out there. So I was in the back of my mind thinking about these, strategies, actually how to conquer the market. And then actually I received your sales letter, and that triggered me to contact you. Yeah, so first of all, you have to understand that the business that we are in, the sales cycles are pretty long. And we started probably in the worst economic year that I have experienced in the last 22 years. So my expectations were pretty low, but we had to do something. And I thought that, if you guys were not able to nail this, then I would probably not be able to do it better myself. So the start was very slow. I mean, it took like quite a long time to build up all the knowledge together. Still, it was like, we were still doing things and it just takes time. But at some point, the amount of leads were really like staggering. I mean, this was just crazy. And I still have days. I think I had a day like that yesterday where I have like 4 calls with leads that you guys generate. So the amount, initially, I expected that I could get maybe like 6 to 8 leads per month. That would already be, I mean, if I look back at my expectations 1 year ago, 6 to 8 leads per month, like qualified leads that, have seen our documentation, that were confirmed by you guys that they would actually show up in the meeting. That's like already like an insane amount for a company like us. And now I sometimes have like 4 per day. I think last week you closed like 6 or 7 leads for us in 1 week. So if let's say that totals up to like 25 per month, that's like almost 1 per day. And out of that, I think the conversations are nice, they're qualified. And I think that around 30 to 40% of those leads is also really like what I would qualify as ideal customer profile. So that's pretty crazy. I mean, it really took a while. I mean, of course, we had to align, internally with you guys to make the email script better, to make the sales letter a good one, to even like simple things like time management, when to arrange those things in my calendar, because at some point it was like a mess. But it's like super nice to handle that together and to actually come up to a situation where I'm just happily starting the working day, checking my calendar and seeing, hey, what's planned for me today. And then you really have like great conversations with usually even like the founders or CEOs of the companies, which is great. I mean, those are the people that I have to talk to share my message. So yeah, that's above expectation in terms of quality. And yeah, we are working together now for 12 months. And I think that since 2 months, we are, I would say, really in the zone where we, have like the right amount of leads, the good quality of leads. And before that, it was pretty long build up. But yeah, I would never expect in the beginning that we would reach the quality and amount of leads that we actually have right now. Here I have the advantage that during my introductions, the sales pitches that I do, I can switch between the 2 labels that we have. And that is actually a great thing for me. So sometimes I start pitching for YouSir, and we are talking about the UX, how we can mature their organization with our UX expertise. And then they are nodding, but I always introduce, how this company was founded and that we are like a spin-off of Amsterdam Standard. And then suddenly, they actually seem to be more into development capacity, which is something that Amsterdam Standard can deliver. So I can easily switch, right? So the first big deal that we actually landed was a company where I started talking about YouSir, and they were, eventually more interested in Amsterdam Standard, and they are still interested in YouSir. But this is like a thing for February. So we recently landed a pretty big deal for a huge company that already exists for also longer than 20 years, with a great product, with a big organization also in the south of the country, who just needs more teams. And that's something that we can supply with Amsterdam Standard. And I mean, deal size for Amsterdam Standard, this is really like long-term business. Most of the clients there, they stick with us for 4 years. They on average hire like teams of 4.5 FTE. So deal sizes of around like 30,000 per month easily. So yeah, then we're talking about a plus 1 million euro deal as a spin-off of a pitch for YouSir. Yeah, so that's awesome. I mean, that's one deal like that, already validates like all the costs and efforts that we make on this. Yeah. But also, I mean, I started saying that the sales cycles are pretty long. So I think that since September, we have really talking to like companies that are in our ICP, and some of them, they come back and they come back for like the second and the third conversation, or they were interested in Q3 and Q4 of last year. But such investments can only be made in the new year when they have, let's say, new budget arranged. So that's what we're actually talking about right now. So now we finally, can move towards closing deals with leads that we nurtured since September. So my expectation is that, I think we recently together last week, I think we went through the full Excel sheet of leads that you have delivered us. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there were like 50 or 60 leads in there where I had like valuable conversations in the last 6 months. And out of that, 3 or 4 are right now moving into the direction of a first deal. Yeah, so that's again pretty awesome, because a company like us only had the capacity to work for 9 clients in total. So right now we're quickly hiring extra UX designers, and we have expanded our team with 4 new people, and now we actually have the capacity to grow again. So if we add 4 or 5 new clients this year to our agency, it means that we will just double in revenue. Sorry, not double, add 50% extra revenue, which is like very significant, of course. Yeah, so it mostly actually brought me like insights in like what is the atmosphere, what is the level of trust, how positive are entrepreneurs right now? Because like I said, this is like quite a hard year for the tech industry. Most of them finally face situations where the next investment round is not automatically coming, where valuations are lower and all that. So it's really good to be able to speak with all those people and to really understand like what are their problems and how can you really help them before even selling. I mean, it's not about the instant kill. I mean, it's really good to be able to introduce yourself and to learn from them and to ask questions. And that is what I'm always bringing back to to our team. And together we then like come up with like better propositions or solutions or easier ways to start a cooperation with clients, for example. So that is extremely valuable. And this is also what I'm preaching to our own clients, that you should always be in contact with the market. So as a CEO, it can be really easy actually to lose, feeling with the market because you're super internally focused. But having conversations with the market every day is pretty much the best thing you can do, even without selling. I mean, it brings like so much value and gives you like so many insights that you can really, like tweak your product proposition afterwards again. Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, you guys are still also like a couple of young wild dogs, right? And you have professionalized a lot in the last year. So I guess together we came to a situation where we right now really have, like I already said, I start my working day, I open my calendar and I see qualified leads and I look into my mailbox and I see the conversation and I'm pretty much there. Everything is set up, everything is confirmed. After giving each other some feedback, you finally really understood who are our ICPs and what companies can you easily skip. We have super fast communication on Slack, so that's also great. So yeah, I really see you guys as like an extension of our company, our sales colleagues, our sales team. You always come up with like new initiatives and all that. So it's really like, I feel relieved that I don't have to care about this topic. And I know that I also don't have to give you guys the same attention as I had to give to like an employee. Now, if I'm busy and I'm short in my communication, you're not nagging. So that's also pretty awesome, right? Because I don't have time for that. I'm like extremely busy. So I want this to work efficient. And that's what you guys are handling. And that is cool. I mean, it's really, yeah, I'm always honest about these things. It really takes some time and it took some time before we really understood each other and before we aligned. But right now it's just awesome. I mean, you know what is important for me, and yeah, and that's it. And so it's very efficient. It's a very efficient way of working. But you always have to be realistic. These things take some time to build up. And yeah, and I think you did a great job in professionalizing your own organization and your own processes. So right now it's really awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm still,
Great.
I mean, I'm still sometimes surprised about the fact that it just works. I mean, you guys work, of course, with, it always starts with sending out an email, right? And many people say, well, email marketing is like, this is dead, and this doesn't work, right? And this is, yeah, this is, you shouldn't do that. And this is spam, and this is like bad for your reputation. And of course, there is a complainer. I mean, we had one complainer today on Google who wrote that he didn't appreciate our emails, right? Well, that sucks. I mean, it's not nice that some people do not appreciate that. And, we should take care of that. But the trade-off is that I had like 60 great conversations with real cool companies that I would not have talked to. And the funny thing is that most of the conversations always start with their introduction that, yeah, usually I always delete these emails and I receive so many per day, but you guys just wrote me right on time because we were just talking about this topic in the company this week. We have to do something with our UX in our, our case. And yeah, and your message triggered me. It was like smart. And you also come up with some, some business goals, etc. So I was just interested to listen to your pitch and introduction. And that is cool. So the fact that it's still a numbers game and you should not forget that. So we have sent out thousands and thousands of emails and many of them just delete it. They never read it. But some of them you just, write at exactly the right time that it's like relevant for them. And that is cool. And that is my biggest learning actually last year, that you should always keep doing that. Because if you don't do it, you just, miss out on all the opportunities out there because some people are actually waiting for your message. And that's it. And yeah, it would be really stupid to cut on that if you had a year where you had like 60 really great conversations with people that you would never normally have talked to, right? So that's really valuable. Yeah. And one more thing, I mean, me as a founder of the company and the CEO, I decided to do these conversations myself and not delegate them to a sales employee, for example. First of all, because I didn't have a sales employee, so that made it simple. But I also was not, like willing to hire one, because I immediately, from the first week that I was doing these conversations, I felt that, first of all, the CEO to CEO or founder connection that you can build up is great. I mean, you have like very different conversation, and the feedback that you're getting and the opportunity to sharpen your proposition and pitch is just awesome. And this is really needed if you're still building a company that is not done yet. So yeah, so again, like even without the results, at some point I already felt like this is like valuable thing for us. And the fact that the results are coming right now and that the leads are still coming, and that every day we just see like super interesting communication opportunities being pushed by you guys, that's just very comforting us. This really builds our internal trust that we are like on the good path, right? If we would not have those positive replies, then for sure, we would have probably changed our business model already, like let's say last year, September, October. But now we really feel that our proposition is spot on. So that also gave us the trust, to extend our team again with like 4 people. So that's pretty cool.